Hey guys, it's M. Probably with my final self-indulgent Clash video, at least for a while. Today's subject is our main character, Pseudo. Now, Pseudo I think is a very interesting character for the reason they don't try to do a ton of unnecessary things with the plot here. 80% of the framework is defeat Gemini and her forces, and the remaining 20% is split between two sections very far apart. This means instead of focusing on new overarching major threats or events that cause us to focus on them solely, we get a lot of time with Pseudo and the boy. It forces us to have a lot of small moments with our main pair here and get a good grasp of who they are individually, as there's many times where it's just the two of them on the road between places. In a game with a bland protagonist, this would be a death sentence, but here, I think it played into the simple but effective charm this game has. But before I go into Pseudo, I have to go over the cliff notes for the boy he travels with. It might seem like a weird start, but there's some parallels you won't get unless I go over these things. At the start of the game, the boy's grandfather and guardian is killed. Pseudo happens to live around the area and hears the commotion. He then takes in the boy momentarily, and we find out that Gemini, our main antagonist and subject of my last video on the game, wants him to heal her. The boy's powers are to link things or transfer energy between them. He's a defenseless child, and Pseudo is the main thing that stands between him and the dangers of the world. Now, on to Pseudo. Like I said, he's introduced having saved the boy, but there's two things established around this portion of the game that I think are very important to his character. First, when Pseudo finds the boy, his first thought is dumping him off with someone else with a route that takes the least amount of hassle to him as possible. He has no interest of being anything to the boy. He even rejects dropping the boy off with his brother at first because he doesn't want to go that far out of his way.
Is there anyone who can take care of you?
I don't know.
Anyone who knew your grandpa?
My brother, but he doesn't want to see me.
Where is he?
In the mountains?
Too far out of my way. Maybe someone from Gemini's palace could take you there. She's always got messengers going back and forth, taking care of her business.
The only reason Gemini learned Pseudo has the boy in the first place is because he was originally going to just give him to her. It isn't until she makes it clear that she has no regard for the boy's grandfather dying and seems to have bad intentions for him that Pseudo decides to not give him to her.
I assume you're here about the boy?
That's right.
Good. Very good. So where did you see him? Was the old man still with him?
The old man was his grandfather, but he's dead.
The child is undamaged.
Pretty much.
Good. I don't care about the old man. It'll be easier without him. You and every other meathead mercenary is going to have to remember this. I need the child alive. If he's dead, he can't help me.
So that's why you want him.
The details don't concern you. Now where did you see him?
The other important note that even I overlooked is that Pseudo is referred to by the other mercs as the Hermit in the beginning sections of the game. I initially thought of it as just some cute nickname or a dig to him, but it's referring to the fact that Pseudo is heavily implied to have lived alone and stayed near his little hut a majority of the time before the events of this game start. From just this introduction that we've covered, it's implied that Pseudo is kind of a selfish and keeps to himself sort of character. While at a very surface level I'd say he appears like the gruff stoic guardian, the game makes it very clear in a lot of small talk he's just a guy. Not a flat out evil person or anything, but a dude going about his day to day. Him and the boy have dozens of small little moments here and there. So many that if I wanted to, I could most likely extend this video by 10 or so minutes just talking about each of them. But through these, it becomes more clear that Pseudo is growing attached to the boy and is used to having him around. A great example of this is when Pseudo meets the boy's brother, who, just to fill you in, had a bad experience with him and practically disowned him. Pseudo goes in on him more than any other character he runs into, which might seem small but is notable.
What are you doing here? And where is grandfather?
I'm sorry.
What did you do?
I
Killed him, didn't you? I knew it. I told him this would happen. I told him you were cursed.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I couldn't help him.
Enough.
And who are you, stranger? A swindler who saw an opportunity, or just another bandit come to steal from us? Either way, I don't care. Get out of my way.
So you can keep screaming at your brother like a little baby? All I hear is wah, wah, wah.
But then one day, it all went wrong. Grandfather was bitten, and the curse took my arm. That's how it works, you see. It makes you think that it's helping. Then you lose everything.
So that's it. That's your great tragedy. Ha! You're worse than a baby. You're pathetic. I guess if you're too weak to fight a bunch of actors, I'll have to do it myself. Come on, I'll show you what your brother should have done all along.
Also, quick little interjection here. A lot of the things that Pseudo says to the boy's brother after his fight with the director could apply to him himself at the very start of the game, which is very interesting and something I didn't note until working on this video.
I'm sorry, Pseudo. I'm ashamed.
You should be. You didn't want the responsibility. Wanted to take the easy way out. pass the burden off to someone else, so you could go back to your life, keep stewing in your own misery. You can't change what you did, but you can try to do better. You can fight the problem at its source.
He also refers to the boy as, well, the boy most of the mid-game, as if he wasn't trying to get too close by giving him any other title. But a main point of the plot I love that recontextualizes a lot of what's happening from Pseudo's perspective is when you head to the Amicale. This is a quick little cut in to tell you I have a Patreon. If you want to support the channel and you want to get some behind the scenes things, I'd recommend you go check it out. Also, shout out Chazbox. Love that guy. He already got to see this video early, and that's it. So, back to the video. Pseudo brings up that this is where his master and sort of grandpa lived. From the way he describes it, it's very clear this person was a figure like Pseudo himself is to the boy. Someone not related by blood, but a father figure. And honestly, I'm just going to play this next scene in my initial reaction towards it, because there's no way I can frame it better than the game does itself.
Are we going to see your sort of grandpa?
Maybe. We used to live here, but one day he just left me.
That's mean.
It's life.
My grandpa never left me.
And how'd that work out for him?
Oh my god.
He might be back. We'll see.
So here we find out that Pseudo was seemingly left in his youth. While before it seemed like he was just a sort of isolated guy doing what he must, we now know that he was also once a helpless, scared boy, that while clearly under different conditions, would still know about how the boy is feeling. Maybe he sees himself in the boy or wants to prove himself where his own father figure failed him. It's not straight up told to us, but it's not a far-fetched thought. But this scene also kind of shows a gate into Pseudo himself, and was when I really started to like him. It's made very clear he's a hurt dude, and that hurt molded who he turned into. Someone being left by the one family member they have and then ending up becoming completely secluded, it doesn't seem unrelated. Pseudo doesn't seem to like to think about his own feelings at all. He kind of pushes them away whenever they're brought into question. To avoid confronting that, he says something that's pretty unhinged and cruel out of nowhere, and something I don't think many other protagonists would say. In the little moment of silence, as if the boy seems to be caught off guard like we were, and then have Pseudo try to redirect the convo, it's very human and very flawed. If anyone asked me how I could see past the very unique design Pseudo and the boy have, I'd probably point them to this scene. But a bit after this, an event occurs where all the birds seem to be losing themselves. The boy starts to freak out. This is the first time we see Pseudo completely out of his element. It's not something he can just hit and make go away like everything else so far. It's something that he doesn't understand and is completely helpless to do anything against. The cutscene conveys this pretty well.
It's everywhere! It's everything!
Try not to listen.
I can't! Pseudo! Please, help me! Pseudo, please!
What can I do? I don't know what to do. Oh, no. It's that machine, that instrument. If I could break that piece of cack, the music would stop. If I take you north, getting any closer to that thing could kill you. I'll come back, I promise.
This entire segment, he comes off more manic than he does for the rest of the game. It's made very clear this isn't just some boy he's transporting around because it's a thing to do anymore. He's taken it as his responsibility, and says as much after his fight with one of Gemini's henchmen that tried to grab the boy while Pseudo was trying to stop whatever was harming him.
I thought you'd left me.
Never.
What happened? I had the strangest dreams.
Don't worry about it. Everything will be alright. I'll stay with you and protect you.
The next major developments for Pseudo I'd say happen at the end of the game. First, when he's about to confront Gemini and gathers everything he needs to do so, this conversation happens.
That's it. I have 4 great shield artifacts. I can take on Gemini.
Pseudo, are you sure? I don't want you to get hurt.
Do you want to stay with me? No more adventures, no more looking for someone to take care of you? We go home. We live.
Yes, that's what I want.
Then I have to finish this.
It shows that they care about each other and he's fully around to being the boy's guardian. The next is when he's actually confronting Gemini and her henchmen, specifically before fighting Moonsun. Here, have a listen.
I won't let you get to her. I won't let you destroy everything we built here.
Built?
We used the One Law like it was meant to be used. We imposed order on chaos. Without us, you'd be no better than the Corwids. And how do you repay us? How do you repay her?
I'm sorry that I have to shatter your delusions. I guess we all have stories we need to tell ourselves. But she shouldn't have tried to take my boy.
First, Pseudo doesn't really disprove his point about the one law or how they're better than the Corvids because of it. He simply specifies she shouldn't have tried to take my boy. As my second point on this, and a quick note, this is the first time he refers to the boy as his. Then he goes on to defeat Gemini. And as I said in my last video about her, Gemini is a tragic antagonist in my eyes. She wants the boy for the sole purpose of healing herself. A stoic protagonist may have let the boy heal her and then leave, but Pseudo doesn't. Pseudo simply defeats her and goes. This is a character who at the start of the game acknowledges that she's rotting away, but doesn't seem to care enough to help her.
So why is old Gemini so keen on getting her hands on you? What makes her think you can keep her better half from rotting away?
I think that these two scenes show the overarching character progression that Pseudo goes through throughout the story. He goes from a hurt, selfish, isolated man living on his own to avoid confronting himself to an overprotective, selfish man who finally found one thing to care about again. Don't get me wrong, Pseudo isn't malicious or anything. He doesn't seem to want to hurt the boy or any random innocent people, but acknowledge he did all this fighting to protect this bit of happiness he found. He isn't doing this to save the world or anything grander. He finds peace in the boy and he's protecting that. He doesn't logically debate Moonsun or engage with Gemini's "do you think I had a choice" statement because they don't matter to him.
You gave me no choice.
Choice? You think I had a choice?
I don't care.
They're in the boy and Pseudo's way, so they have to move. The final section of the game kicks off with the two finally going home after all of the journey is done, just for Pseudo to wake up and find out that his father figure has taken the boy. This isn't an out of nowhere event, as this is set up in an earlier scene we skimmed over, as I don't think it's super relevant to this conversation in my opinion, but this is our final conflict, and it allows for quite a few dynamics to bump into each other. When Pseudo catches up to his father figure, who we're simply going to call Cax for this video, we're fully informed that another group wants the boy as he might be able to help the world. But Pseudo chimes in, again, with one of my favorite scenes.
Caxte, you will not take my son. Do you hear me?
This is about more than what you desire, Pseudo. You do not want to be alone. You want to have meaning in your life. I understand that better than you can ever imagine. If you knew how long I've waited. But we cannot act only for ourselves, like the Corvid of the Free. You know that the boy will never be safe in Xenozoic. There will always be another Gemini, another monster, out to get his power. I want things to get better, and the people I serve, perhaps, with the boy's abilities, they will make things better.
I don't care. I don't care about your grand plan. I don't care about Xenozoic or whatever the cack there is on the other side of the mountains. He's my son, and nobody gets to take him away. Not even you, Master.
Now logically, for the good of the world, we should side with Cax on this, but I'm pretty sure all of us took Pseudo's side here. It's flat out illogical and selfish, but we've been fighting to protect our boy, and it'd be all for nothing if we gave him up here. Also notice again, he calls the boy something outside of the boy. He calls him my son. This isn't someone just coming to take his son at this point like how Gemini was. It's his father who left him coming back to take his newfound son away. Cax shows remorse for this entire development, but he isn't backing down either. This leads to a fight where it's very evident Pseudo is far weaker than Cax. He lands some punches that stagger him slightly, but the gap is so big that it doesn't matter much. At the end of it all, we're left with a pretty understandably controversial ending. The boy runs out, saying he wants to try and help the world, that he might be their only hope. But Pseudo chimes in, "You're nothing but an experiment to them." The boy acknowledges this, but he wishes to help regardless, to be a hope to the world. We also get a flat admission from Pseudo, saying he doesn't want to be alone again. Even watching his body language for a majority of this scene, he's broken in this moment. And after all that, the boy then heads off with Cax to potentially create a better world. As I said, this ending's a bit controversial in the fandom from what I've heard. It kinda seems like a spit in the face of everything Pseudo was doing. We do all this to protect what he had, but it gets taken away regardless, by a threat that was mostly forgotten about by the time this occurs. For the possibility of a better world, we don't even get any glimpse of. But from a narrative standpoint, I do get it. It's the boy making his first big choice, as it's clear the boy loves helping people where he can over the course of the game. He's a good-natured kid after all. And for Pseudo, he's finally forced to let go of the one thing he found meaning in, but is also forced to respect the boy's wishes and not just do what he wants himself, making the the boy a passive player in his day by day. I want to say I like this ending. The music and writing here are top notch. I just think it happened a bit too fast. There's no time skip or any room for Pseudo to finally take in his victory. He just wakes up the same day he defeated a dictator to find someone else has taken his son, and then that he's most likely not coming back. It's unnecessarily cruel. Had the boy at least got to stay for a while before this occurs, then we could have known Pseudo got some peace at the end of it all. But no, instant kidnapping. Regardless, I love Pseudo due to the fact that he's not blatant with a lot of his issues. Like with Gemini, most of it's told subtly, and you can read into it if you want. He's not a super heroic protag or some stoic bulwark that doesn't emote but wants to protect the boy. He's a flawed, pretty normal guy. He feels human for whatever he is. A majority of his story beats aren't delivered while smashing a jar over someone's head or fighting some monster, but him simply walking and talking, slowly revealing himself to the boy and us as the audience. I think he'll probably remain one of my favorite indie protags and protags in general for a while just because of that. I don't think the father figure with issues is a super unique plot, especially with Joel and Kratos floating around while this game was being worked on, but I feel the devs kind of knew that, so they focused on small moments to make you love his character instead of trying to reinvent the entire wheel. But anyways, I've been rambling long enough. As always, as long as you're respectful, I'm glad to discuss in the comments, and I've been out, and I am out.